been told it is a game of chance where we are small boats adrift in a stormy and capricious ocean, but they have lied to you. What you are about to hear is going to dismantle that illusion forever. There is no such thing as chance. There is no such thing as luck. There is no such thing as coincidence. What we perceive as chaos is simply an order that our untrained minds have not yet learned to decipher. Behind the veil of physical reality, behind what your eyes can see and your hands can touch, there exists a perfect machinery. There is a silent operating system, precise and relentless. This system governs every atom, every thought and every circumstance of your existence. Imagine for a moment that you are trying to play a game of chess without knowing the rules. You move the pieces at random. You get frustrated when your king is taken. You get angry at the board and you blame your opponent. That is the situation of most of humanity. The vast majority of people walk through life asleep, bumping into invisible walls, swimming against the current, exhausting themselves in a perpetual struggle to survive, simply because they ignore the rules of the game. They ignore the source code of reality. This audiobook is not a collection of well-wishes or abstract philosophy. This is the rulebook. What you hold in your ears is the synthesis of thousands of years of hermetic wisdom, quantum physics, and applied metaphysics. These are the 10 universal laws. These laws are not suggestions. They are not man-made moral norms that you can choose to obey or not. They function with the same cold, mathematical precision as the law of gravity. Gravity does not care if you are a good person or if you believe in it. If you jump from a 10th floor, you will fall. The universal laws work the same way. They are operating right now as you listen to this. They have been operating in every success you've had and in every failure you've suffered. The only difference is that, until today, perhaps you have been an unconscious victim of them. The purpose of this work is to transform you from a victim into an architect. When you understand the mechanics of vibration, you stop being afraid. When you master polarity, you stop suffering through crises. When you apply cause and effect, you stop waiting for luck. When you master these, you begin to design your destiny with surgical precision. I warn you, once you hear and understand these laws, you will not be able to go back to sleep. You will no longer be able to blame the economy, your partner, the government, or God for what happens in your life. By receiving this knowledge, you also receive total responsibility for your existence. No more being a piece on someone else's board. It is time for you to take command and become the player. Open your mind. Forget what you think you know about how the world works. We are going to lift the hood of the universe to see the engine. Let us begin with the first and most fundamental of all the laws. Chapter 1, the law of divine oneness, the origin. Look at your hand. Look at it right now. You see skin, you see lines, you see a shape that ends where the air begins. Your physical senses, which are biological tools designed for basic survival, tell you a fundamental lie. They tell you, here I end, and there the rest of the universe begins. They tell you that you are a separate entity, isolated, encapsulated in a sack of skin, navigating through an empty space full of objects foreign to you. This is the great illusion. It is the root of all suffering, of all fear, of all war, and of all the loneliness you have ever felt. The first universal law, the law of divine oneness, comes to break that distorted mirror. This law is non-negotiable. It is the foundation upon which all other laws sit. If you do not understand this one, you will understand none. If you try to apply the law of attraction without understanding oneness, you will be playing with toys. If you apply it understanding oneness, you will be a god creating worlds. The law establishes a simple, terrifying, and magnificent truth. Everything is one. There are no two. There is no you and me. There is no inside and outside. There is no God and man. It is all one. There only exists a single energy, a single consciousness, a single infinite mind that is experiencing itself in trillions of different forms simultaneously. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean compressed into a drop. And what you are about to discover will change everything. It will change the way you breathe, the way you love, and the way you exist. The physics of non-separation. For your logical mind to accept this, we must set aside mysticism for a moment and look at hard science. For centuries, Newtonian physics taught us the universe was made of things. Newtonian physics spoke of billiard balls, atoms, crashing against each other in an empty space. That created a materialistic and separatist vision of the world. But quantum physics destroyed that model 100 years ago. When scientists looked inside the atom, expecting to find solid matter, what did they find? Nothing. The atom is 99.99999% empty space, and that 0.01% that we call a particle, electrons, quarks, are not solid objects. They are vibrations. They are vortices of energy. They are probabilities. You are not made of matter. You are made of music. You are made of vibrating information. So if everything is empty space and energy, what is it that connects us? There exists something called the unified field, or the zero-point field. Empty space does not exist. The space between you and me, the space between the stars, is full of an invisible energetic fluid. It is a quantum ether that connects everything with everything. It is like a cosmic internet network. Imagine that you are one computer and I am another. We seem separate. We have different cases, but we are both connected to the Wi-Fi. The information that flows through you is the same that flows through me. The electricity that powers you is the same that powers me. At a fundamental level, there are no edges. Your atoms are constantly exchanging electrons with the air that surrounds you. Every time you breathe, you inhale atoms that were once part of Julius Caesar, a dinosaur, or a distant star. You are not an island. You are a flow. You are a process, not a thing. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement proves it. If you take two particles that have been joined and separate them by millions of kilometers, by modifying one, the other reacts instantaneously. There is no delay. No signal travels at the speed of light. The connection is immediate. Why? Because at the deep level of reality, they were never separated. You are quantumly entangled with everything that exists, because at the moment of the Big Bang, all matter and energy was concentrated in a single point. All the matter and energy of the universe was concentrated in a point the size of a pea. You were there. I was there. We have never stopped being in contact. Distance is only an illusion of the third dimension. The cosmic hologram, the law of divine oneness, also teaches us a truth. It teaches us that we live in a holographic universe. Do you know what a hologram is? If you take a normal photograph and cut it in half, you lose half the image. But if you take a holographic plate and cut it in half, each half still contains the complete image of the object. If you cut it into 100 little pieces, each piece, when illuminated, will project the complete image. The whole is in each of the parts. This means that you are not just an insignificant part of the universe. You contain the total pattern of the universe within you. Your DNA contains the history of biological evolution. Your subconscious contains the history of the cosmos. As the ancient alchemists said in the Emerald Tablet, as above, so below. The microcosm reflects the macrocosmos. That is why you can find God by looking inward. You do not need to travel to the ends of the galaxy to find the truth. The truth is encoded in your cells. You have access to all the wisdom, all the energy, and all the creativity of the source, because the source is not up there. The source is the very fabric of your being. The end of the other, the ethics of oneness. This is where the law becomes practical and sometimes uncomfortable. If everything is one, then the other does not exist. The person you love is you. The person you hate is you. The beggar on the street is you. The political tyrant is you. They are all reflections, mirrors, versions of the same unique consciousness, disguised in different costumes, living different scripts so that the whole can know itself from all possible perspectives. Imagine you are a puppeteer who has 1,000 puppets. With one hand you handle the hero. With the other you handle the villain. You make them fight. You make them love each other. The audience believes they are mortal enemies, but below the stage, both hands belong to the same body. You are the puppeteer, and you are also the puppets. This radically changes your ethics and your behavior. Under the law of divine oneness, the golden rule, treat others as you want them to treat you, ceases to be a nice moral advice and becomes a law of mechanical survival. Why? Because you cannot harm another without harming yourself. It is impossible. It is as if your right hand took a hammer and hit your left hand because it doesn't like it. It would be madness. The pain would be felt by the same brain. Humanity lives in that madness. We kill each other, we rob each other, and we judge each other. We do this thinking we gain something, without realizing that we are amputating our own limbs. Every thought of judgment you throw against someone is a boomerang. It leaves you, hits the energetic field of the other, who is part of you, and returns to you charged with the same frequency. If you hate, you poison yourself. Hatred is a poison that you drink waiting for the other to die. But the beauty of this law is infinite. Every act of kindness you do for a stranger, you are doing to yourself. Every time you forgive, you free yourself. Every time you help someone up, you rise. Understanding oneness is the end of selfishness, because you realize that true intelligent selfishness is taking care of the whole. Telepathy and the collective mind. Have you ever thought of someone and that person calls you instantly? Have you ever felt that something bad was happening to a loved one before receiving the news? That is not a coincidence. It is the law of oneness in action. Since we are all connected to the same central server, the divine mind, thoughts are not private. Your thoughts are waves that propagate through the network. They do not travel through the air. They travel through the internal connection. That is why, at a deep level, everyone knows everything. You cannot lie. You can deceive someone's intellect, but their soul knows the truth. Their soul and yours are drinking from the same water. This explains the power of prayer and intention at a distance. When you pray for someone or visualize their healing, you are not sending energy over there. You are healing that part of you that you perceive as the other. You heal them within your own consciousness, and since there is only one mind, the change in your mind is reflected in their physical reality. Dr. Ihaliakala Hugh Len, the famous Hawaiian therapist of Ho'oponopono, cured an entire ward of psychiatric criminals without seeing them in person. He never had a session with them. What did he do? He sat in his office, looked at the inmates' files, and looked inside himself. He asked himself, "What is in me that has created this person? What part of my darkness is reflecting in this criminal?" And he healed that part in him. He said, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you." As he healed himself, the patients were cured. Because he understood the law, there is no them, there is only I. If you clean your consciousness, you clean the world. Loneliness and belonging are transformed here. The greatest illness of our time is loneliness. Depression, anxiety, existential void. Everything is born from the illusion of being disconnected. No one cares about me. I am alone against the world. The law of oneness is the ultimate cure for loneliness. You have never been alone. You cannot be. Even if you were floating in the void of outer space, you would be sustained by the same presence that sustains the galaxies. The earth sustains you. The air enters you. The sun feeds you. You are the favorite child of the universe because you are the universe itself. When you integrate this law, you feel a deep peace. You feel belonging. You stop walking through life with fear, like an intruder who has to ask permission to exist. You begin to walk like the owner of the house. You look at the trees and feel, that is me. You look at the stars and feel, that is my body. You look into the eyes of a stranger and see an old friend. The fear of death disappears. How can you die? The form changes, yes. The body dissolves. But you, the life, the consciousness, cannot be destroyed. The wave returns to the ocean, but it never stops being water. The challenge of the shadow. But beware. Oneness is not just love and light. If everything is one, then you are also the darkness. You are the saint, but you are also the murderer. You are the victim and the executioner. Accepting oneness means accepting totality. Many spiritual people want to be one with flowers and angels, but refuse to be one with corrupt politicians, criminals, and the filth of the world. That is duality. That is spiritual ego. To truly apply this law, you must recognize. You must recognize that everything you see outside that you dislike is a projection of a shadow you carry inside. The world is your mirror. If you see war in the news and fill yourself with hatred toward those who make war, you are adding more war to the unified field. If you see war and recognize the seed of violence in your own heart and forgive it and transmute it into peace, then you are stopping the real war. He who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. No one is free, because we all share the same collective human psyche. Your job is not to fix the world by judging it. Your job is to recognize that the world is you, and love it until it heals. How to live the law, daily practice. How do we bring this giant philosophy down to your Monday morning? Here is the application protocol. 1. The real Namaste greeting. Namaste means, the God in me salutes the God in you. Practice it mentally. When you cross paths with someone, your boss, the bus driver, say internally, I recognize you. You are me. I am you. Do it especially with people who irritate you. You will see how their attitude toward you magically changes. By recognizing their divinity, you vibrationally force them to act from it. 2. The dissolution of boundaries. In meditation, or just sitting in the park, close your eyes. Feel where your skin ends and the air begins. Try to erase that line mentally. Feel that your atoms mix with the atoms of the chair, the floor, the sky. Expand. Feel that you occupy the entire room, the entire city. Break the shell of the ego. 3. Radical responsibility. Stop blaming. Eliminate the word blame. If something appears in your reality, you have summoned it because you are part of the whole. Ask yourself, what am I vibrating to experience this? Not from guilt, but from power. If you created it, you can uncreate it. 4. Mental ecology. If you throw trash in your house, it stinks. Since the world is your house, your extended body, do not throw mental trash, do not criticize, do not envy. Do not wish ill. Understand that sending bad vibes to someone is like urinating in your own pool. You're going to bathe in that. Keep your water clean. The paradox of power. Understanding the law of divine oneness gives you immense power, but takes away your personal importance. You are God, yes, but your neighbor is too. You are not special in the sense of better than. You are special in the sense of unique and unrepeatable. You are a facet of the diamond that no one else can reflect. Your mission is not to be another. Your mission is to be you to the maximum, because by doing so, you enrich the whole. If a cell of the body decides to be humble and stop working, the whole body gets sick. The universe needs you to shine. It needs you to be rich, healthy, and happy, because your happiness raises the vibratory average of the galaxy. Your suffering serves no one. Your smallness does not serve the world. Align yourself with unity. Understand that abundance is infinite. You can have it all because in essence you already are everything. You are the architect and the building. You are the player and the game. Welcome to the awareness of the One. Chapter 2. The Law of Vibration. Hit the table in front of you, or touch the chair you're sitting on. Touch it hard. What do you feel? You feel resistance. You feel hardness. You feel something solid, static, motionless. Your senses tell you that this table is a dead object, a block of matter frozen in time and space. Your senses are lying to you. If you could look at that table through an electron microscope of infinite power, what you would see would take your breath away. You wouldn't see wood or plastic or metal. You would see a swarm of subatomic particles spinning at dizzying speeds. You would see electrons orbiting nuclei like crazed planets. You would see an immense space between them, and above all, you wouldn't see anything still. That table that seems so solid is, in reality, a storm of energy. It is a dance. It is a frequency. It is vibrating. And so are you. Welcome to the second universal law, the law of vibration. The ancient Kybalion summarizes it in a phrase that modern science took thousands of years to confirm. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. This is the secret that separates the magicians from the muggles. The average person believes in matter. The initiate knows that matter does not exist. Only energy condensed at a slow vibration exists. Understanding this is the key to stop being a victim of circumstances. If everything is vibration, then everything is modifiable. You cannot mold a cement block. You cannot mold a cement block with your hands, but you can mold a sound wave with your voice. Your reality is not cement, it is sound, and you are the composer. The spectrum of reality, from ice to steam. To understand how spirit becomes matter, let's use the analogy of water. Imagine a block of ice. It is hard, cold, heavy, and rigid. If I hit you with it, I hurt you. That is matter, low vibration. Now apply heat, energy, to the ice. The molecules start to vibrate faster. The ice loses its rigidity and turns into water. Now it flows. It is adaptable. Apply more heat. The vibration increases drastically. The water boils and turns into steam. Now it is invisible, expansive, light. Keep heating the steam to extreme temperatures and it will turn into plasma. It is the same substance, H2O, in all phases. The only thing that has changed is the rate of vibration. The universe works the same way. Your thoughts are steam, high vibration. Your emotions are water, medium vibration. Your body and your physical results are ice, low condensed vibration. Poverty is a vibration. Wealth is a vibration. Illness is a vibration. Health is a vibration. They are not things that happen to you. They are frequencies you are tuned into. People make the mistake of trying to change the ice by hitting it with another ice, physically fighting against their problems. The master does not hit the ice. The master raises the temperature, change the internal vibration, and the external ice inevitably melts. It is pure physics. The universe is a radio. Imagine you are in your car and want to listen to classical music, which we will call the abundance frequency. But your radio is tuned to 88.5 FM, which is a heavy metal station, which we will call the scarcity frequency. You can scream at the radio. You can pray for them to play Mozart. You can be a good person. You can cry. But as long as the dial remains at 88.5, you will hear heavy metal. The radio doesn't hate you. The radio is not punishing you. The radio simply reproduces the signal that you have tuned in. Your mind is the dial. The universe has infinite stations broadcasting simultaneously. Right now, in this precise instant, and in the place where you are sitting, there are wealth waves. Right now, the radio waves of millionaire wealth exist. Also, the radio waves of terminal illness exist. The waves of deep love and those of suicidal loneliness exist. They are all here, now, superimposed in the quantum field. Which one manifests in your life? Only the one you resonate with. You cannot perceive what you do not vibrate. If you are vibrating in fear, low frequency, the opportunity station, high frequency, is invisible to you. It passes through you without touching you. It's as if a dog whistle were sounding next to you. The sound is real, but you don't have the ear. You don't have the vibration to catch it. That's why two people can live in the same city, with the same economy and the same government, and one sees a crisis and the other sees opportunities. They don't live in the same world. They live in different frequencies. Emotions as a GPS system. How do you know at what frequency you are vibrating? You can't see your atoms, you don't carry an oscilloscope in your pocket, but you have a perfect biofeedback system built into your body, your emotions. An emotion is not something poetic. It is a physiological response. It is a response to a vibratory frequency. The word emotion comes from the Latin emovere, energy in motion. Dr. David Hawkins created the map of consciousness, a logarithmic scale of human vibrations. In the lower part of the scale, slow, dense, contracted vibration are shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear. When you are here, you feel heavy, literally. It's hard to get out of bed, the world looks grey, your immune system shuts down. You are in survival mode. In the middle are anger, pride. They have a lot of energy, but it's still negative, destructive. The turning point is courage, 200 Hertz. Here you begin to empower yourself. In the high part, fast, light, expansive vibration are acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. When you are here, you feel light. You feel like you're floating. Ideas flow. Synchronicity happens, you become magnetic. Here is the key to the law of vibration. Like states attract. If you wake up and choose, consciously or unconsciously, to vibrate in complaint or irritation, you are sending a signal to the universe that says, "Send me more things that vibrate the same as irritation." And the universe obeys. You spill your coffee, you miss the bus, you fight with your boss, you say, "What a day of bad luck." No. You compose the symphony of disaster with your first note of the morning. Your emotion is your fuel gauge. If you feel bad, you are attracting bad things. If you feel good, you are attracting good things. It is that binary, the phenomenon of resonance and entrainment. In physics, if you have two tuning forks, those metal forks musicians use, tuned to the same note, for example, A, and you hit one to make it vibrate, the other will start to vibrate. It will start to vibrate automatically even if you don't touch it. It's called sympathetic resonance. The vibration travels through the air and activates the object that has the same internal structure. This explains why, when you enter a room where two people just argued, you feel tension in the air. You feel the tension even if they are silent. You feel the remaining vibration of anger, and if you're not careful, your own internal tuning fork of anger will start to vibrate by sympathy. Suddenly you get in a bad mood and don't know why. This also explains charismatic leadership. A person with a very high and stable vibration, a leader, a teacher, a healer, enters a room. Their vibration is so strong that it dominates the field. Through a phenomenon called entrainment, weaker vibrations, confused or sad people, tend to synchronize with the stronger vibration. The leader doesn't have to say anything. Their presence tunes the others. It elevates the room, but beware, it works the other way around. If your vibration is weak and unstable, and you hang out with pessimistic, cynical, and low-vibration people, energy vampires, they will drag you down. The law of vibration dictates that you cannot stay healthy in a sick environment unless your vibratory immune system is made of steel. Take care of your environment. Protect your vibration as if it were your bank account, because in reality, it is much more valuable. Your vibration creates your bank account. The lie of statics. One of the most dangerous implications of ignoring this law is believing you can stay the same. I'm not improving, but I'm not getting worse either. I'm stuck. Impossible. Remember the law. Nothing rests. Stagnation is an illusion. If you are not going up, you are going down. If you are not growing, you are dying. If you are not investing energy in your relationship, it is degrading. Nature is dynamic. A garden that is not cared for doesn't stay the same. It fills with weeds. A house that isn't cleaned fills with dust. Entropy always pulls downward. To maintain a high vibration, continuous and conscious effort is required. You have to row. If you let go of the oars, the current of the world, which tends toward negativity and fear, will drag you down. Vibrating high is not a permanent state. It's not a state you reach and that's it. It's a daily discipline. It is a hygiene like showering. You shower today, but tomorrow you will smell bad again if you don't shower again. Vibration is cultivated every morning. How to hack your frequency. Practical alchemy. If you are stuck in a low vibration, sadness, fear, poverty, how do you get out? You can't just think positive because thought is weak if the emotion, the body, is vibrating low. You have to intervene in the system. Here are the tools to change the dial. 1. Physiology, movement. The fastest way to change the mind is to move the body. Depression is a vibration of immobility. Anxiety is a vibration of chaotic trembling. Break the pattern. Go run, jump, dance, lift weights, breathe fire. By moving matter, your body, you force electrons to change state. It is impossible to stay depressed if you are sprinting at top speed or dancing to your favorite song. Biochemistry changes, and with it, the vibration. 2. The word, sound. Sound is audible vibration. The words you use have a frequency load. Words like hate, failure, impossible, illness have a low density. They weaken your muscles. Kinesiology. Words like love, thanks, power, God, I can, have a high frequency. They strengthen your field. Stop talking about your problems. Every time you verbalize your problem, you give it new life. You vibrate it again. You recreate it. Speak only about what you want to see grow. Use the abracadabra. I create as I speak. 3. Gratitude, the elevator. Gratitude is not a moral duty. It is a mechanical tool. Gratitude and fear cannot coexist in the brain at the same time. They are incompatible frequencies. Gratitude is the frequency of reception. When you give thanks, you are vibrating in, I have enough, I am complete, and the universe responds by giving you more reasons to be grateful. If you want to get out of the pit in 5 minutes, write 20 things you are grateful for right now. Feel how the pressure in your chest changes. That is your vibration rising. 4. Vibrational diet. You don't just eat food. You eat information. You eat sounds. You eat environments. What music do you listen to? Lyrics of betrayal and violence? That enters your subconscious. What news do you watch? Fear and death. That lowers your frequency. What do you eat? Dead, processed foods, full of animal suffering. Or live foods, full of sun. Everything that enters your system affects your musical note. If you want to vibrate like an angel, Do not eat or consume garbage. Cardiac coherence. The secret of magnetism. Science has discovered that the heart emits an electromagnetic field 5,000 times more powerful than the brain. You can think I am rich, brain, but if you feel I'm afraid of not paying, the heart signal wins by a landslide. The heart is the great emitter. Coherence occurs when what you think and what you feel are aligned in the same frequency. When mind and heart vibrate in unison, a laser beam of manifestation is created. If there is dissonance, I think one thing, I feel another, the signal is static noise. The universe doesn't understand what you want. To apply the law of vibration, you have to feel the truth of what you desire. You must feel it in your gut. It's not fake it till you make it. It's tune in till you receive it. You have to feel the joy of health before healing. You have to feel the security of money before seeing the bills, because vibration precedes manifestation. The sound, thunder, comes after the lightning, but the energy was generated before. Be the lightning. Vibrational immunity. When you master this law, you reach a state of immunity. Imagine an airplane propeller spinning at top speed. If you throw a stone at it, the stone bounces violently. The propeller looks like a solid disc. If the propeller spins slowly, the stone can enter and break the mechanism. When your vibration is high and fast, low vibration problems, criticism, envy, small accidents bounce off your auric field. They cannot penetrate. People say how lucky you are, nothing affects you. It's not luck, it's spin speed. You have accelerated your energy so much that density cannot touch you. But if you lower the speed, you let yourself be carried by fear or laziness, you become vulnerable again. The stone enters. Keep the propeller spinning. Keep the joy high. Keep the focus sharp. The mystery of mental transmutation. The Hermetist said, the mind, like metals and elements, can be transmuted from grade to grade, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. This means you have the power of real alchemy. You don't need lead and fire, you need attention and intention. If you are in a situation of hate, you can't just eliminate the hate, but you can accelerate its vibration. Hate is love vibrating poorly. Fear is faith vibrating backwards. Apply consciousness. Apply breath. Observe your fear. Don't run from it. Look at it and start to breathe light onto it. You will see how the fear starts to dissolve and transform into prudence, and then into excitement, and then into power. You have changed the vibrational rate of the emotion. You have turned lead into gold. You are the master of your internal state. And as your internal state dictates your external reality, you are the master of your destiny. Tune your soul to the music of the spheres. Chapter 3. The Law of Correspondence. Imagine you walk into a bathroom. You look into the mirror and see that your face is dirty. You have a mud stain on your cheek. What do? Do you grab a towel and start rubbing the mirror glass with fury? Do you scream at the reflection? Do you try to clean the stain there on the cold surface of the glass? If you did that, they would call you crazy. You know by instinct and logic that the mirror is neutral. The mirror has no agenda. The mirror did not create the stain. The mirror simply informs. To clean the stain on the mirror, you have to clean the stain on your own face. When you change, the reflection changes. Instantly, without effort, without discussion. This is the perfect metaphor for your life. Your bank account is a mirror. Your relationship is a mirror. Your physical health is a mirror. Your home is a mirror. Welcome to the third universal law, the law of correspondence. This law was immortalized in the emerald tablet of Hermes Trismegistus, with the most famous axiom in the history of occultism. As above, so below, as below, so above, as within, so without, as without, so within. This law is the master key that connects dimensions. It tells us that there is a harmony, a concordance, and a perfect correspondence between the different planes of existence. It connects the physical, mental, and spiritual planes. It tells us that your outer world is not a separate reality that attacks you. It is a 3D print of your inner world. You are the projector. The world is the screen. If you don't like the movie, it's useless to tear the screen. You have to change the film roll inside your head. The fractal universe, the pattern that repeats. To understand the depth of as above, so below, let's look at the geometry of nature. The universe is fractal. A fractal is a geometric figure that repeats itself across different scales. If you zoom into a fractal, you see the same shape over and over again infinitely. Look at an atom, a nucleus with electrons orbiting around it. Look at a solar system, a sun with planets orbiting around it. Look at a galaxy, a gravitational center with stars orbiting around it. The pattern is the same. What changes is the scale. The structure of the neural network in your brain is identical to the structure of the cosmic web of galaxies. The veins in your lungs have the same pattern as the branches of a tree and the deltas of rivers. This means there is no chaos. There is a unified design that replicates from the micro to the macro. Why is this vital for you? Because it means that you are a microcosm of the universe. If you want to understand how God or the universe works, study yourself. And if you want to understand what is happening inside you, in your invisible subconscious, look at your external life, your visible reality. Your external life is the data readout of your internal state. You cannot cheat the law of correspondence. You can lie to your friends. You can lie to yourself saying, I am fine, I am positive, but your reality does not lie. If you are in financial bankruptcy, there is a corresponding internal bankruptcy. If your body is sick, there is a corresponding emotional or mental imbalance. Reality is the perfect diagnosis. It is the brutally honest feedback of the universe, the myth of the victim. The acceptance of this law is the death of the infantile ego. The ego loves being the victim. My boss is bad. The economy is terrible. My partner makes me unhappy. All these phrases assume that the outside has power over the inside. The law of correspondence tells you, false. No one makes you unhappy. You generate unhappiness in the face of someone's stimuli. No one makes you poor. You maintain a vibratory correspondence with scarcity. This is the hardest pill to swallow, but also the one that heals the most. Radical responsibility. If, as within, so without, then you are the architect of everything you experience. You are not guilty. Guilt is a low and useless vibration. You are responsible. Responsibility means you have the ability to respond. If you created the disorder, you can create the order. If you projected loneliness, you can project company. You stop looking at the sky waiting for luck to change and start looking inward to see which screw is loose. The mirror of relationships, the shadow. Where this law hurts most is in human relationships. The people around you are not random individuals. They are actors hired by your soul to show you what you do not want to see in yourself. Carl Jung called it the shadow. Everything you deny in yourself, you project onto others. If you are deeply irritated by selfish people, it is because you have a repressed selfishness that you haven't accepted. Or perhaps you have a lack of self-love, healthy selfishness, that you refuse to exercise. The other shows you your lack or your excess. The rule of the mirror. 1. What bothers you about the other? It is something that you have and deny, or something that you would like to have and repress. 2. What you love about the other? It is something you have potentially or are already manifesting. 3. What the other criticizes about you. If it hurts, it's because deep down you believe it's true. If it doesn't hurt, it's only the other's projection. Your tyrant partner is a mirror of your own lack of internal authority. Your friend who is always late is a mirror of your own lack of respect. Stop trying to change people. It is as useless as screaming at the bathroom mirror. If you change, if you become the authority, if you respect yourself, if you heal your rebellion, the other person has only two mechanical options. A. They change their behavior to match your new frequency. B. They leave your life because there is no longer correspondence, a healthy breakup. The universe does not allow vacuums. If you change, the stage changes. Money as a certificate of correspondence. Let's talk about money, because this is where the most hypocrisy exists. Many spiritual people say, "I'm very rich on the inside, but poor on the outside." The law of correspondence says, lie. If you were truly rich on the inside, if you had a mindset of abundance, self-worth, and flow, it would be impossible to be poor on the outside long term. External poverty is the reflection of internal poverty. It can be a poverty of worthiness. I am not worth it. A poverty of beliefs. Money is evil. Or a poverty of action. I am afraid to move. Money is not a bill. It is energy of value. It is a certificate of gratitude. It is gratitude that the world gives you for the service you have rendered. As within, value provided meaning, so without, money received. If you want more money outside, you have to increase your value inside. You have to learn more, serve better, solve bigger problems, feel more worthy. Do not chase money. Money is the shadow of your growth. If you grow your shadow, your wealth grows automatically. You cannot have a large shadow if you are a small person. The body is a messenger. Your body is the most faithful map of your subconscious mind. The mind lies, the body never does. Every pain, every symptom, every illness has a psychosomatic correspondence. Mental stress, within, becomes a stomach ulcer, without. The emotional burden of carrying the weight of the world, within, becomes back pain, without. Inflexibility toward change, within, becomes arthritis or joint stiffness, without. The inability to swallow a situation, within, becomes a sore throat, without. Modern medicine treats the symptom, the mirror. It cuts, medicates, suppresses. Real medicine, holistic, understands correspondence. It asks, what is this symptom telling me about my life? Where am I being rigid? When you decode the message and change the mental pattern, within, the body no longer needs to scream, and the symptom, without, often remits. Your body is showing you in high definition what you are doing. The mirror delay, the time lag. Here is a trap that causes many to quit. You say, okay, I understand the law. Today I will think positive. Today I feel rich. Today I feel healthy. You look in the mirror of reality the next day, and you are still poor and sick. And you say, this doesn't work. You have forgotten a crucial factor, the density of matter. The mental plane, thought, is fast, almost instantaneous. The physical plane, matter, is slow, dense, and heavy. There is a time lag. What you see today is the reflection of who you were. It is the reflection of what you thought and felt 6 months or a year ago. It's like the light of stars. When you look at a star, you see the light it emitted thousands of years ago. Your current problems are dead stars. They are the reflection of your old self. The error is reacting to the dead star and creating new negative karma. The master understands the delay. He starts changing within today, knowing that without will take a while to reorganize its atoms to match the new image. During that waiting time, faith is required. Faith is not believing in the irrational. Faith is understanding that the law of correspondence is mechanical, but it takes time to develop the photo. Maintain the internal image despite the mirror showing the old. Persist, and suddenly The mirror will break and show the new reality. Order and chaos. A very fast way to apply this law is to use it in reverse. Sometimes it is hard to order the mind directly because thoughts are slippery, but you can use the principle, as without, so within, to hack your brain. If your mind is chaos, order your room. Jordan Peterson became famous saying, "Clean your room," and it is pure hermetic alchemy. By physically ordering your environment without, you are sending a signal of order to your mental structure within. By cleaning your desk, you are cleaning your psyche. By dressing with dignity and elegance, even if you are alone at home, you are raising your internal self-image. Use the physical world as a lever to move the mental world. Create a sanctuary of beauty and order around you, and your mind will be forced to enter resonance with that peace. The double vision technique. To master this law, you must develop what I call double vision. You must learn to walk through the world seeing two things simultaneously. 1. The form, the effect. You see the situation as it is physically, e.g., an unpaid bill. 2. The source, the cause. You immediately see what mental pattern created it, e.g., this corresponds to my fear of lack from last week. When you develop this vision, you stop being afraid. You see a monster and say, that is not a real monster, it is the shadow of my own finger. And you lower your finger, and the monster disappears. Living this way gives you a supernatural tranquility. You know there are no external enemies. You know there is no bad luck. There is only data. There is only feedback. You become a programmer of reality. Application protocol. The correspondence journal. How to train this? For the next 7 days, keep a correspondence journal. Every time something triggers a strong emotional reaction, positive or negative, stop. Do not judge the external event. Write 1. External event. 2. Mirror question. In what area of my life am I disrespecting myself? Or in what area am I judging others? 3. Internal action. I am going to start respecting myself by setting clear limits. Do this with everything, with traffic, with money, with love. At first it is exhausting, because the ego hates assuming the blame. But after a few days you will feel an explosive release. You will realize that you have the controls. If everything is me, then I can change everything. The change starts now. The fractal scale. Small changes, large results. The beauty of fractals is that if you change the pattern on a small scale, the change propagates to the large scales. He who is faithful in little is faithful in much. You don't need to fix your whole life at once. That overwhelms. Fix a small corner of your life. Start with your body, within microcosm. Eat well, exercise. In doing so, you change your vibration. That change will affect your self-confidence, mind. That confidence will affect how you speak, relationships. That will improve your income, money. And so a small change in diet ends up changing your financial destiny. Everything is connected. Pull one thread and you will move the entire web. The mirror is waiting. What face will you show it today? Chapter 4. The Law of Attraction, the Magnet. Surely you have heard of this law. Millions of books have been written, movies have been made, and courses have been sold, promising that if you visualize a check on the ceiling of your bed, money will fall from the sky. And surely you have tried it. You have visualized. You have made your vision board. You have repeated affirmations, and nothing has happened. Or worse yet, the opposite has happened. You have lost money or felt more frustrated. Why? Is the law a lie? No. The law is perfect. The failure lies in your understanding of the law. The pop version of the law of attraction says, you attract what you want. That is false. If you attracted what you wanted, beggars would attract money, and the sick would attract health. because no one wants it more than they do. The real law of attraction, the hermetic and physical law, says, you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. This distinction is the difference between a frustrated dreamer and a manifesting magician. The universe does not listen to your verbal requests. The universe does not speak English or Spanish or Chinese. The universe speaks frequency. The universe reads your electromagnetic signature. If your mouth says, I want to be rich, but your visceral vibration says, I'm afraid of not making it to the end of the month, the universe ignores the word and obeys the vibration, and it sends you more scarcity. It is mechanical. In this chapter, we are going to dismantle the mechanism of the magnet. We are going to learn how to tune your internal radio so that the music that plays is the one you chose, not the one they imposed on you. It is time to take control of your broadcast. The physics of the magnet, thought versus feeling. To understand how the human magnet works, we must look at our biology. You have two main energy generators, the brain and the heart. The brain generates electricity, neuronal electrical impulses. The heart generates magnetism. The heart generates a measurable magnetic field that extends several meters outside your body. According to the Heart Math Institute, the magnetic field of the heart is up to 5,000 times more powerful than that of the brain. This is crucial. Thought, brain, is electrical. It sends the signal to the universe. The signal is the rocket. Feeling, heart, is magnetic. It brings the signal back. It is the gravity. You can think about your new car all day, electricity, but if you don't feel the emotion of having it, magnetism, the signal goes out but doesn't come back. You attract nothing. The law of attraction is, in reality, a law of cardiac resonance. You only attract that which you are able to feel as real in your body right now. If you try to attract love but your heart is closed and full of resentment, your magnetic field is a repellent shield. The equation is clear intention, mind, plus elevated emotion, heart, arced matter. The paradox of desire. Why wanting is losing. Here is the death trap that 99% of people fall into. The act of wanting or desiring something implies by definition that you do not have it. If you already had the $1 million in your hand, would you desire it? No, you would enjoy it, you would be grateful for it, or you wouldn't care. But you wouldn't desire it with anxiety. The anxiety of desire is the vibration of lack. It is a signal of absence. When you say, I want so much to find a partner, you are vibrating in I am alone and desperate. And what does the vibration of loneliness and desperation attract? More loneliness and desperate situations. The universe is a literal mirror. If you scream, I need, the mirror reflects the image of someone needy. To attract something, you have to hack the paradox. You have to renounce the need. You have to reach a vibratory state where you feel that you already have it, or that you are so complete that you don't care if it arrives or not. This is called living in the end or detachment. It is the attitude of, it would be wonderful to have that and I choose it, but I don't need it to be happy because I am already the source of my happiness. In the moment you let go of the desperate need, the resistance disappears. The energy flows. And that which you were pursuing begins to run toward you. Money pursues those who do not need it. Love pursues those who love themselves. The subconscious, the guardian of the gate. You can consciously say, I am a success. But your subconscious mind has a different recording. The subconscious is 30,000 times more powerful and controls 95% of your life. It has a recording from your childhood that says, you are useless and money is evil. Who wins the battle of attraction? The subconscious. Always. The subconscious is the soil of the garden. Your conscious thought is the seed. You can plant an oak seed, thought of wealth, But if the soil is toxic or full of stones, limiting beliefs, the seed will die. The law of attraction does not work if there is no coherence between the conscious desire and the subconscious belief. How is the guardian reprogrammed? The subconscious only learns in two ways. Year 1. Hypnosis, low brainwave states, just before sleeping and just upon waking. In those moments, the logical door is open. It is the time to visualize and feel your new reality. 2. Repetition of high emotional impact. An affirmation said like a parrot is useless. An affirmation shouted with passion or felt with tears of gratitude is imprinted on the hard drive. You have to convince your subconscious that the new reality is already true. The subconscious does not distinguish between what your eyes see and what you imagine. If you imagine that you bite a lemon, you salivate. Your body reacts to the mental image. If you imagine and feel success with the same intensity, your subconscious will begin to move you toward it automatically. Tuning the frequency, the cosmic radio. Let's return to the radio analogy. You are a human antenna. You are emitting a signal 24/7. That signal is composed of your dominant thoughts and your habitual feelings. The law of attraction says, like attracts like. If you emit on the FM 98.5 frequency, complaint, you can only pick up realities on 98.5, problems. The music of wealth is on FM 105.0. You cannot listen to 105.0 while being on 98.5. It is physically impossible. It is not that God does not want you to be rich. It is that you are not on the channel where wealth is delivered. To change channels, you have to change your state of being. You have to ask yourself, how would the version of me that already has the money feel? It would feel secure, calm, generous, relaxed. Therefore, your job is not to get money. Your job is to feel secure, calm, generous, and relaxed, now, without the money. By provoking that vibration artificially, you tune into 105.0. And once tuned, the song, the physical manifestation, begins to play. First comes the frequency, then the reality, never the other way around. People wait to see to believe. The law demands believing to see. The power of I am identity. The most potent form of invocation in the universe are the words I am. In the Bible and in ancient texts, I am is the name of God. Metaphysically, what you put after I am is an order of creation that you give to yourself. You give it to your own molecular structure and the quantum field. When you say, I am poor, I am sick, and I am stupid, you are signing your sentence. You are using the power of God to destroy yourself. The law of attraction responds to your identity. You do not get what you want. You get what you are. Therefore, the ultimate trick is the identity change. Stop being the seeker. Start being the possessor. Stop acting like someone who wants to be successful. Start walking, talking, dressing, and thinking like someone who already is. It is called acting as if. But it is not a fake performance to deceive others. It is a sacred performance to transform yourself. Put on the suit of the character you want to be. Use it until you stop feeling that it is a disguise and it begins to be your skin. When your internal identity changes, I am a healthy person, your habits change on their own and physical reality aligns. Correct visualization. Feel, don't see. Many people visualize wrong. They close their eyes and see themselves on a movie screen driving a Ferrari. They see themselves there in the third person. That creates separation. That tells the brain that is a movie, it is not me. Correct visualization is associated. First person. Do not see yourself driving the car. Feel the steering wheel in your hands. Smell the leather of the seats. Look at the road through the windshield. Feel the acceleration in your stomach. Make it sensory, tactile, olfactory. And most importantly, add the emotion. What would you feel if it were true right now? Euphoria, relief, gratitude. That feeling of the wish fulfilled is the fuel. The image is only the map. The emotion is the gasoline. If you visualize for 10 minutes but feel nothing, you have lost 10 minutes. If you feel the deep emotion for 10 seconds, you have moved mountains. The environment and people, reverse attraction. The law works in both directions. You attract, but you are also attracted. If you are surrounded by 5 negative, broke, and cynical people, the law of attraction will keep you stuck to that reality. It is social gravity. Sometimes to activate the law in your favor, you have to apply conscious repulsion. You have to move away from what does not vibrate with you. By creating a vacuum, by eliminating the toxic, the universe rushes to fill it with something new that vibrates with your new frequency. Do not be afraid of losing friends when you start to raise your vibration. It is a sign of success. It means you are no longer compatible. Gratitude, the quantum accelerator. If complaining is the handbrake, gratitude is the nitro. Why? Because gratitude is the vibratory signal we emit when we have already received something. If someone gives you a gift, you say thank you. Therefore, when you give thanks for something that hasn't arrived, when you give thanks for something that hasn't physically arrived yet, you are hacking the matrix. You are sending the signal, it already happened. The universe receives the signal, it already happened, and to maintain logical coherence, it is forced to manifest it in the physical plane. Thanking for your perfect health while you are sick is the most powerful act of faith that exists. Thanking for the money while seeing the zero balance is pure alchemy. Living in constant gratitude places you in the frequency of reception. You become an open door for miracles. The dark side, unconscious attraction. We must talk about this. The law of attraction has no morals. It does not distinguish between good for you or bad for you. It only distinguishes focus and energy. If you spend the day obsessed with your debts, talking about them, fearing them, if you feel the knot in your stomach because of debts, you are using the law of attraction perfectly. You are attracting more debt. Worry is, literally, praying for what you do not want. It is visualizing the worst scenario with a high emotional charge. It is negative creative visualization. Most people are masters at manifesting misfortunes because they put a lot of passion into their fears. The challenge of the master is to withdraw attention from the undesired. Do not fight against the darkness. Turn on the light. Ignore the current circumstances if you do not like them. Where attention goes, energy flows. Where energy flows, matter appears. The gestation time, patience. We live in a universe of time and space. There is a lapse between sowing and harvesting. If you plant a tomato seed today and dig it up tomorrow to see if it grew, you kill it. The law of attraction requires gestation. You emit the signal today. The universe begins to pull strings, to coordinate coincidences, to align people. That takes earthly time. The problem is that people emit the signal of wealth on Monday, and on Tuesday they emit the signal of, I am poor. You just cancelled the order. The universe says, okay, cancelled, sending you poverty. Persistence in the vibration is key. You have to maintain faith in the vision when your physical senses tell you the opposite. You have to be able to look at your empty account and still feel abundant. You must know that the money is on its way, just as you know that the Amazon package is on its way, even if you don't see it at your door yet. Trust the logistics of the universe. The how and the when are not your business. Your business is the what and the why. Practical protocol, the morning script. To apply this tomorrow, use the technique of scripting. Buy a notebook. Each morning, spend 5 minutes writing your day or your life as if it had already happened. Write in the present tense. I am so happy and grateful now that I earn $10,000 a month. I love waking up in my house by the sea. I feel the sun on my face. I feel calm and powerful. While you write, feel it. Let the ink be an extension of your emotion. By doing this, you are pre-paving your day. You are setting the vibration. Chapter 5: The Law of Inspired Action. Imagine a man sitting on his living room sofa. He has read all the books about the law of attraction. He has visualized an athletic and healthy body. He has felt the emotion of having it. He has repeated, "I am health," 1,000 times. But this man never gets off the sofa. He continues to eat junk food. He continues without moving a muscle. Months pass. He looks in the mirror and is still overweight. Furious, he screams at the sky, "The law of attraction is a scam." Is it a scam? No. The man failed because he ignored the fifth universal law. He ignored the law of inspired action. We live in a physical universe. Although the origin of everything is mental and vibratory, laws 1, 2, 3, and 4, the final manifestation occurs in the plane of matter. And in the plane of matter, energy needs a vehicle to move. That vehicle is action. Attraction is the feminine principle, magnetic, receptive, gestating. Action is the masculine principle, electrical, penetrating, constructive. Trying to create a new life only with visualization is like trying to have a baby without the sexual act. You can desire the baby with all your soul. But you need the union of the two polarities for life to emerge. Action is the bridge that connects the invisible world of your dreams with the visible world of your results. Without the bridge, your dreams stay trapped on the shore of fantasy, waving their hands, waiting for someone to cross. No one will cross for you. You have to build it yourself. Forced action versus inspired action. This is where most get confused and fall into the trap of hard work. Society has programmed us with the paradigm of effort. If you don't kill yourself working, you won't be successful. They say, blood, sweat, and tears. That is forced action. Forced action is born from fear and lack. It feels heavy. It feels like pushing a rock uphill. It exhausts you. It burns you out. It is swimming against the river's current. You can advance, yes, but the cost is brutal. The energetic cost is massive, and progress is slow. When you act from force, you are saying to the universe, "I don't trust you, I have to do it all by myself." You are operating only with your small biological battery. Inspired action is completely different. It is born from connection. It is born from intuition and enthusiasm. The word enthusiasm comes from the Greek entheos, God within. When you act with inspiration, you don't feel like you are working. You feel like you are playing. You feel like you are dancing. It is swimming with the current. The river, the universe, carries you, and you only have to stroke to steer the course. You advance miles with minimum effort. Inspired action feels light, exciting, almost compulsive. I have to do this now because it burns inside me. It is the painter who spends 12 hours in the studio. He forgets to eat because he is in flow. It is the entrepreneur who has an idea at 3 in the morning and gets up to write it with a smile. The law of inspired action does not ask you to work more. It asks you to work aligned. It asks for your total presence. The anatomy of the nudge. How do you know when you should act? How do you distinguish a crazy idea from a divine instruction? The universe is not going to send you a fax or a WhatsApp message. The universe communicates through subtle impulses. In English, they call it the nudge. You are washing the dishes and suddenly, the image of an old friend comes to you. You feel a warmth in your chest. A quick thought. Call her. That is the nudge. Most people ignore it. Bah! I haven't seen her in years. How weird it would be to call now. I'll do it later. Fatal error. You just hung up the phone on God. That call could have been the door to your new job or to your ideal partner, or to the solution to your problem. Inspired action requires immediate obedience. Intuition has a very short half-life. It is like ice cream in the sun. If you don't eat it now, it melts. If you wait to analyze it logically, the magical moment passes. The door closes. The master trains his response reflex. Feel the impulse. Act without hesitation. When you obey these small illogical impulses, the universe rewards you. It rewards you with amazing synchronicities. You realize you are not walking blind. You are being guided by an omniscient GPS. The universe moves the strings. You move your feet. There is a Sufi story about a man who prayed to God every day. Lord, please make me win the lottery. He prayed with faith. He cried. He visualized. Years passed. The man died poor and angry. Upon reaching heaven, he complained to God, I prayed to you all my life. Why didn't you make me win the lottery? God looked at him and said, My son, I wanted you to win. I had the prize ready for you, but you never bought a ticket. This is the essence of co-creation. The universe can organize the events, it can align the probabilities, it can put the right people in the right city, but the universe cannot act for you in the physical plane. God has no body. You are the body of God. You are the hands and feet of infinite intelligence. If you want to move a brick, you need a physical hand. Meditation does not move bricks. Meditation gives you the idea of where to put the brick, but your hand has to lift it. The law of action is the partnership agreement. The universe says, I provide the opportunity, the open door. You say, I provide the movement, walking through it. If you stay waiting for the universe to push you through the door, you will wait eternally. The universe respects free will. Fear as a compass. Here is a counterintuitive secret. Often inspired action comes wrapped in fear. It is not the paralyzing fear of terror, but that electrifying fear of uncertainty, the butterflies in the stomach. Stephen Pressfield in The War of Art says, the more scared you are of a specific task or action, the more certain you can be that that task is important for the evolution of your soul. Fear is a compass. If an action doesn't matter to you, it is probably not important. If an action scares you, listen. If it scares you, speaking in public, launching that business, declaring your love, it is because there is a great energetic treasure behind it. Resistance, fear, clusters around the point of greatest growth. Therefore, inspired action usually requires an act of courage. The universe is testing your faith. Do you really want this? Are you willing to go through the discomfort to get it? If you say yes and act despite the fear, the universe opens the floodgates. The comfort zone is the death zone of dreams. Magic only happens in the panic zone. Learn to interpret that fear not as a stop signal, but as a signal of here is the goal, dig here. You don't need to see the whole staircase. The number one reason people don't act is because they want to see the complete plan before taking the first step. I want to start a business, but I don't know how to make the web or the taxes or the marketing, so I better not start. That is paralysis by analysis. The law of inspired action works like driving at night with the headlights on. The headlights only illuminate the first 50 meters. You don't see the final destination, which is 300 kilometers away. But you can make the whole trip seeing only those 50 meters. When you advance 50 meters, the headlights illuminate the next 50. The universe will only reveal the next step to you. Call Juan. You say, what for? What is going to happen next? The universe says, it's none of your business. Call Juan, then I'll tell you step 2. You have to trust the intelligence of the process. If you stay still demanding a complete map, you will never leave the garage. Take the first step with faith. The ground will appear under your feet as you advance. Martin Luther King Jr. said, Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. The concept of Wu Wei, action without effort. In Taoism, there is the concept of Wu Wei, often translated as non-action. But it is a bad translation. It should be action without friction or action without ego. It doesn't mean staying lying down. It means acting in perfect harmony with the Tao, the flow of nature. Observe how a plant grows. It doesn't strive. It doesn't sweat. It doesn't stress. It simply grows. It breaks the asphalt if necessary, with an unstoppable force but without tension. Observe water. Water flows toward the sea. If it finds a rock, it doesn't fight the rock. It goes around it, or it patiently erodes it. But it never stops flowing. Inspired action is Wu Wei. It is when you stop trying to make things happen, ego control, and allow things to happen through you. You become an instrument. You get out of the way. When you write, it is not you who writes. Inspiration writes through your hand. When you negotiate, wisdom flows. That state of flow is the maximum expression of this law. It is maximum efficiency with minimum wear. Preparing the ground, symbolic action. Sometimes you don't know what to do. You are stuck. In those moments, you can invoke the law through symbolic action. Act as if your desire is already coming. Prepare the ground for landing. Do you want to find a partner? Clean your closet and leave empty space for their clothes. Sleep on one side of the bed, leaving the other free. Buy an extra coffee cup. Do you want clients? Organize your desk. Prepare the blank invoices. Have the suit ready. Do you want to travel? Have the suitcase handy and the passport renewed. These physical actions send a powerful signal to the subconscious and the universe. I expect it. I am ready. There is space. Nature abhors a vacuum. By creating physical space through action, you suction reality so that it fills it. It is a tangible act of faith. You are proving your belief with facts, not just with thoughts. Procrastination, the resistance of the ego. Procrastination is not laziness. It is fear in disguise. It is a defense of the ego to avoid facing the possibility of failure or success, which also scares. When you postpone an inspired action, the energy rots. Inspiration is fresh energy. If you keep it in a drawer, it becomes stale. It turns into guilt. It turns into anxiety, into heaviness. The longer you postpone an action, the bigger and more terrifying the monster in your mind becomes. The only way to kill the monster of procrastination is immediate and imperfect action. Forget perfection. Perfection is the enemy of the good. Do it badly. Do it halfway, but do it. Once you are in motion, it is easy to correct the course. It is impossible to correct the course of a parked car. Action cures fear. Action generates clarity. Inaction generates doubt and terror. Move your body and your mind will follow. The 5-second rule. To hack your brain and apply this law, use the 5-second rule, popularized by Mel Robbins. Your brain has a window of about 5 seconds between the moment you have an instinct to act and the moment your rational mind intervenes to kill it with doubts. I should raise my hand in the meeting. 1, 2, 3. No, better not. What are they going to think? Maybe I'll say something stupid. Dead action. The trick is to count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and move physically before reaching 0. Raise the hand. Dial the number. Put on the sneakers. By counting backwards, you distract your prefrontal cortex, the part that worries, and activate the motor part. You launch into the void before your ego can grab you. Become a sniper. Don't think. Aim. Fire. Life rewards the bold. The balance between being and doing. We live in a culture obsessed with doing. Spirituality sometimes gets obsessed with being. The law of inspired action is the sacred marriage between both. being, doing, having. That is the correct order. First you are. You vibrate in abundance. From that state of being you do. You act with inspiration and certainty, not with desperation. And as an inevitable result, you have the physical manifestation. Most people try doing, having, being. I will work a lot, doing, to have money, having, and then I will be happy, being. That never works. First be happy and abundant. From that joy, your work will be brilliant and magnetic, and the money will come as a consequence. Your action is not to get something you lack. Your action is to express what you already are. The bird does not sing to become a bird. It sings because it is a bird, and singing is its inevitable nature. Act because it is your creative nature, not out of hunger for results. Flow with the universe. Let every step be a prayer in motion. The bridge is under your feet. Walk. Chapter 6. The Law of Perpetual Transmutation of Energy. Look at an old photograph. You see people frozen in time, smiling forever, young forever. Now look at real life. Does something like that exist? Does any moment stay still? No. Your cells are dying and being born by the millions while you listen to this. The water in the rivers evaporates, becomes a cloud, rains, and returns to the river. Money changes hands. Empires fall and others rise. Your mood changes from joy to sadness and back to joy. We live in a universe of constant flow. Stability is an optical illusion. Permanence is a myth of the human mind seeking security. Reality is a river of liquid fire that never, ever stops. Welcome to the sixth universal law, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This law is the supreme hope of humanity. Why? Because it establishes that no condition is permanent. If you are in poverty, it is not a life sentence. It is just energy temporarily condensed into that form, waiting to be moved. If you are sick, sad, or alone, it is only a transitory state of energy. This law tells you that energy is always moving from the invisible, spiritual, mental, toward the visible, physical, material, and that you have the power to change the form of that energy at any time. You are the alchemist. You do not need lead and sulfur. You need thought and emotion. You have the divine power to touch the lead of your life and turn it into gold, simply by changing the quality of the energy that flows through you. The physics of change, spiritual thermodynamics. Science calls it the first law of thermodynamics. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transformed. This is vital. It means you don't have to create the energy to be rich. The energy of money already exists. You don't have to create the energy to heal. The energy of life is already there. All the energy that was, is, and will be is present right now, filling every corner of the universe. Your job is not to be the generator, but the transformer. Imagine a power plant. Electricity reaches your house with a very high voltage that would burn your appliances. You need a transformer to change that raw energy into useful and safe energy. Your mind is that transformer. Cosmic energy flows toward you constantly. It is neutral. It is not good or bad. It is pure potency without form. When it enters your mind, you give it form. You give it form with your thoughts. If you think in fear, you transform that neutral potency into anxiety and attract disasters. If you think in love, you transform the same potency into charisma and attract miracles. Energy is wet clay. It never dries. It is always ready to be reshaped. The problem is that most people modeled a victim figure 10 years ago, and since then they have forgotten that they have the clay in their hands. They keep holding the same ugly figure, believing that this is life. The law screams at you, smash the figure, make a new one. The clay obeys you now, not yesterday. The principle of dominance, the high consumes the low. This is the operational key to transmutation. Higher and faster vibrations have dominance over lower and slower vibrations. Think about it. If you walk into a totally dark room, low frequency, and light a candle, high frequency, what happens? Does the darkness attack the light? Does the darkness put out the candle? No. The light dissolves the darkness instantaneously. Darkness has no active power. Darkness is simply the absence of light. Light is active energy. Therefore, you don't have to fight against negativity. You don't have to shovel out the darkness. You simply have to introduce light. If you are sad, low vibration, do not fight against the sadness. Do not tell yourself, don't be sad. That is giving energy to the problem. Apply a higher frequency. Put on happy music. Sing. Give thanks. Laugh. Even if it is forced at first. The frequency of joy is faster and more powerful than that of sadness. By pure wave mechanics, joy will consume and transmute sadness. It is like pouring hot water into an ice bucket. The ice has no choice. It has to melt and become water. You have control of the thermostat. Never allow yourself to get stuck in a low vibration by inertia. The moment you detect a low point, apply the law. Inject high-frequency energy. Transmute. The body as an alchemical laboratory. Your body is the crucible where this magic occurs. You are constantly transmuting energy. You eat an apple. Matter-condensed solar energy. Your body transmutes it into skin, bone, thought, and movement. That is a miraculous alchemy that you take for granted. But you also perform emotional alchemy. Someone insults you. That is a low-frequency energy, a poison dart, entering your system. You have two options. One, unconscious reaction. You keep the poison, chew it, get angry, and give it back. You shout. You have transmuted nothing. You have multiplied the low vibration. 2. Conscious transmutation. You receive the energy of the insult. You feel the impact. But instead of returning it as anger, you stop it. You stop it in your center. You breathe. You decide to use that extra energy, the adrenaline of the impact, for something productive. You say, I am going to use this fury to finish my project today. Or, I am going to use this pain to become more compassionate. You take the lead of the insult and turn it into the gold of determination. This is what martial arts masters, Aikido, do. They take the force of the opponent's attack and redirect it fluidly and elegantly. They do not block. They transmute the attack into a dance. Every negative emotion is fuel. Anxiety is kinetic energy without direction. Direct it, and it becomes enthusiasm. Envy is repressed desire. Release it, and it becomes inspiration. Fear is sharpened attention. Focus it, and it becomes prudence and precision. Do not throw away your emotional trash. Recycle it. Use it to ignite your engine. The flow of money. The law of circulation. The law of perpetual transmutation is vital for wealth. Money is energy. That is why it is called currency, flow. For energy to stay alive and healthy, it must move. Stagnant water rots. Stagnant blood clots and kills. Stagnant money loses value, inflation, and blocks abundance. Many poor people violate this law out of fear. They try to accumulate and hoard. They close their fist. I have to keep this because I don't know if there will be more. By closing the fist, they stop the perpetual transmutation. They cut the flow. They tell the universe, the flow ended here. And the universe stops sending more. To receive, you have to give. You have to keep the channel open. This does not mean spending irresponsibly. It means circulating value. Pay your bills with joy, knowing that money is going to feed other families and that it will return to you multiplied. Invest in yourself. Donate. Move the energy. Create a vacuum so the law can fill it. If you have a closet full of old clothes you don't use You cannot receive new clothes. The energy is stagnant. Donate the old clothes. Transmute your closet. And you will see how, magically, the means to buy new clothes appear. Nature abhors a vacuum. Create strategic vacuums, and perpetual transmutation will fill them with gold. Environment and atmosphere. Have you ever walked into a house and felt like running away? Or walked into a temple or a loving grandmother's house and felt immediate peace? Spaces accumulate energy. Walls record what happens between them. If there are constant fights in a house, the energy densifies. It becomes heavy, but you can transmute the atmosphere of a room. You are not a thermometer, you are a thermostat. The thermometer only reacts. It's cold, I mark cold. That is a victim. The thermostat decrees it's cold, but I am programmed at 24 degrees, so I'm going to turn on the heat until reality matches me. That is a creator. When you enter a tense meeting, do not get sad by sympathy. Activate your internal thermostat. Enter smiling. Enter with light. Enter vibrating high. At first, you will feel resistance, but if you maintain your high frequency, remember, the high dominates the low. The atmosphere of the room will change. People will relax. Someone will make a joke. The tension will dissipate. You have transmuted the environment without saying a word, just with your presence. That is the power of the magician, to change the reality of others simply by being himself. Transmutation of circumstances, crisis into opportunity. The most practical application of this law is in the face of adversity. You get fired from your job. The energy freezes in the form of misfortune. Most people cry and accept the form of misfortune. The alchemist looks at the firing and says, "This is pure energy. It has destroyed my old routine. It has freed my time. This energy of destruction can be transmuted into energy of creation." And he uses that event to start his own business, something he never would have done if he stayed comfortable in his job. 5 years later, he says, "That firing was the best thing that ever happened to me." Was the firing good in itself? No, it was a neutral event. But he transmuted it into something good. Do not wait for things to improve. Things are neutral. Take what there is, whatever it is, and transmute it into something that serves you. If life gives you lemons, don't just make lemonade. Plant the seeds, grow an orchard, sell the lemons, franchise the brand, and become a millionaire. That is the attitude. Perpetual transmutation means nothing is an end. Everything is raw material for the next beginning. The danger of obsession, fixing energy. The law says energy wants to move and change. Human suffering comes, almost always, from our neurotic attempt to stop change. We want that happy moment to last forever. We want our children not to grow up. We want our partner not to change. That is going against the law. Trying to stop the flow is like trying to stop a tsunami with your hands. It will crush you. Attachment is the attempt to freeze energy, and when you freeze energy, it dies. Love, if you grab it too tightly for fear of losing it, suffocates and becomes possession, low vibration. You must have an open hand. Let the energy flow through you. Enjoy the form it has today, knowing tomorrow it will have another. If today it is money, enjoy it. If tomorrow it is experience and learning, enjoy it. If the day after it is love, enjoy it. Do not attach to the form. Attach to the essence. The essence is eternal. The form is transitory. If you accept perpetual change, you become invulnerable. Nothing can be taken from you because you never possessed it. You were only the channel through which it flowed at that moment. Practical technique. The violet flame. Active visualization. Metaphysicians use a very powerful visual tool to apply this law, the violet flame. The color violet has the highest vibratory frequency of the visible spectrum. It is the color of transmutation. When you have a problem, physical pain, or obsessive worry, do this. 1. Sit quietly and close your eyes. 2. Visualize the problem as a dark, heavy rock. Feel its density in your chest or hands. 3. Now invoke the law of transmutation. Visualize a bonfire of bright, electric, and living violet fire. 4. Throw the dark rock into the violet fire. Watch, with your mind's eye, how the fire doesn't just burn the rock, but transmutes it. Watch how that darkness turns into sparks of golden light, white birds or scented smoke. Feel the physical relief. Heavy energy has been released and returned to the universe as pure, positive energy. Do this every night before sleep. Do not go to bed with lead in your pockets. Transmute it into light so your subconscious can work freely while you sleep. The clean channel. To be a great transmuter, you must be a clean channel. If the pipe is clogged with rust, resentment, guilt, the past, the energy does not flow well. Transmutation is slow. You have to clean yourself. Forgiveness is not a moral act. It is an act of pipe cleaning. To forgive is to let go of old, stagnant energy to allow new, fresh energy to enter. As long as you hold a grudge, you are keeping a ball of toxic, low-frequency energy in your field. That ball is blocking the entrance of your new wealth and health. Let it go. Not for them, for you. For the law of perpetual transmutation to bring you the gold, you have to let go of the coal you are squeezing in your hand. Creation is continuous. Remember always, you are never finished. Your life is not a painting you paint and hang on the wall. Your life is a movie being filmed frame by frame in real time. You may have had a horror scene in the previous minute, but in this precise second, you have the power. You have the power to transmute the script and turn the next scene into a romantic comedy or an epic of triumph. You are not defined by your past, because the past is energy that already transformed. You are only defined by how you are transmuting energy now. You are a perpetual creator. Every thought is a chisel. Every emotion is a hammer. You are constantly sculpting light. Move with the flow, alchemist. Chapter 7. The Law of Cause and Effect and Compensation. If you go to a casino, you will see thousands of people praying to Lady Luck. They blow on the dice, cross their fingers, wear amulets. They believe the result depends on the whim of an invisible and random force. If you go to the stock market, you will see novice investors. You will see them waiting for a stroke of luck. If you look at society, you will see millions of people asking themselves, why me? Why do I have such bad luck? Why is the universe so unfair? It is time to grow up. It is time to stop believing in the fairy godmother. It is time to start believing in the calculator. Welcome to the seventh universal law, the law of cause and effect. This law is the pillar of science and sanity. It establishes that every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Chance does not exist. Luck does not exist. Randomness does not exist. What we call luck is simply a name we give to a law we do not recognize or to a cause we have not seen. But in the great ledger of the universe, there are no mistakes. There are no leaks. 2 plus 2 is always 4. It is never 3 nor 5. If you understand this law, the fear of the future disappears. Why? Because the future is not a random mystery that is going to fall upon you. The future is the mathematical effect of the causes you are putting into motion today. If you plant tomatoes, it is impossible to harvest pumpkins. No amount of luck matters. It is biology, it is law. You are the sower, your life is the field, and the harvest is mandatory. The great boomerang, the mechanics of return. Imagine you are standing in the center. Imagine you are in the center of a perfect circular room. The walls are made of elastic rubber. You have a pile of balls in your hands. If you throw a ball with anger against the wall, what happens? The ball bounces and returns to you with the same force or more as you threw it. It hits you in the face. You scream, "The world is attacking me, what an injustice." No, you attacked yourself with a time delay. If you throw a ball gently, it returns gently to your hands. If you throw a gift, the gift returns. This is the mechanics of your life. Every thought you emit, every word you say, and every action you perform is a boomerang you throw into the cosmos. The boomerang travels, gathers similar energy along the way, turns around, and returns to its point of origin. You. Sometimes the return is immediate. You put your hand in the fire, you get burned. Sometimes the return takes years. You smoke today, so you get sick in 20 years, or you help a stranger today. He saves your life in a decade. The time delay is what confuses the foolish. Since they don't see the effect immediately, since they don't see it, they believe they have gotten away with it. I stole and they didn't catch me. I was cruel and no one said anything. Delusional. The boomerang is in the air. It is traveling, and I assure you by the sacred mechanics of the universe that it will return. No one escapes. Ralph Waldo Emerson, in his essay on compensation, said it better than anyone. It is impossible for a man to be cheated by anyone but himself. You think you are cheating the system, but the system keeps score. The law of compensation, the salary of the universe. Within the law of cause and effect, there is a vital financial and energetic sublaw, the law of compensation. This law says, the amount of remuneration, money, love, success you receive will be exact and proportional to the value of the service you provide. The universe always pays you your fair wage. If you don't like how much you are earning in money or in happiness, do not scream at the boss, the universe. Review your work. Compensation depends on 3 factors. 1. The need for what you do. Do you serve a real need? 2. Your skill in doing it. Are you good at what you do? 3. The difficulty in replacing you. Are you unique? Many people want to be millionaires, effect, without offering a millionaire service, cause. That is violating the law. It is wanting heat without putting wood in the fireplace. People say the world is unfair, I am a good person and I am poor. Being a good person is laudable, and its compensation is peace of mind and good friendships. But if you want money, the cause is not being good. The cause is providing market value. If you want love, the cause is loving. Every coin has 2 sides. You cannot have one side without the other. You cannot have receiving without giving. They are the same thing at different ends of the pole. If you feel that life owes you something, wake up. Life owes you nothing. Life is paying you exactly what you have sown. If you want more, give more, serve more people, solve bigger problems, love more intensely. Compensation will arrive. Not because the universe is good, but because the universe seeks balance. If you create a vacuum by giving a lot, the universe must fill it by giving you back a lot. It is hydrostatic pressure. The butterfly effect and invisible causes. Sometimes we say, but I didn't do anything to deserve this tragedy. Here we enter the realm of subtle causes. The butterfly effect tells us that the flapping of a butterfly's wings in Brazil can cause a tornado in Texas weeks later. A small cause can generate a massive effect if it is amplified over time. A small thought of envy you had 5 years ago could have started a chain of events. A chain of vibratory events that today manifests as a blockage in your own business. Small or private thoughts do not exist. Everything counts. Everything adds up on the scale. That is why the master is extremely vigilant. He knows he cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought. He knows it is a weed seed. If you plant a weed, it will grow. It doesn't matter if you planted it unintentionally or just a little bit. The earth does not judge. The earth grows what you give it. Ignorance of the law does not exempt you from its fulfillment. If you drink poison thinking it is water, you will die just the same. The law is impersonal. Karmic accounting, no guilt, just data. The word karma has been misinterpreted as divine punishment. You have bad karma, you are being punished. That is a childish and religious vision. Karma in Sanskrit simply means action. It is the memory of the universe. It is inertia. If you push a car downhill, the car picks up speed. Karma. If you try to stop it, it will cost you a lot because it carries inertia. Your current conditions are your accumulated karma. Your bank account, your body, and your relationships are the results report of your past actions. Look at them without guilt. Guilt is useless. Guilt is paralyzing. Look at them like a data scientist. Wow, I am overweight. That is the effect. What was the cause? During the last 3 years I ate excess sugar and didn't move. Perfect. The law worked impeccably. If I want a different effect, health, I must introduce a different cause today. Period. No drama, no crying. The law of cause and effect is your best friend because it gives you back control. If it were a matter of luck, you couldn't do anything. Since it is a matter of causes, you can do everything. Sowing in the darkness. The difficult part of this law is faith in the sowing time. When you plant a seed, you cover it with earth. You see nothing. Days pass, weeks. It seems like nothing is happening. The fool digs up the earth every day to see if it grows and kills the seed, or he gives up and stops watering. This doesn't work. The wise man knows that under the surface, in the darkness, the seed is breaking its shell. He keeps watering, persistence. He keeps removing the weeds, negative thoughts. He knows that the law does not fail. And one day, boom, the sprout comes out, and then the growth is exponential. If you are doing things right and don't see results yet, do not stop. You are in the gestation phase. The boomerang is turning the furthest curve. It is about to return. If you stop now, you lose the momentum. Compensation often comes accumulated. The universe withholds payment to generate interest, and suddenly it pays you everything at once. It is the overnight success that took 10 years to gestate. The chain of favors, karmic networking. Do you want to hack this law to accelerate your success? Become a massive generator of positive causes. Do not wait for them to ask you for help. Help proactively. Connect people. Give useful advice. Give away smiles. Be kind to the waiter. Pick up the trash someone else threw. You are sowing millions of micro-seeds of goodwill everywhere. You are creating a vibratory safety net. Perhaps the waiter will not return the favor directly, but you have launched positive energy into the field, and the field will return it to you. Perhaps through an investor who knows your cousin, or through an unexpected opportunity. The return does not always come from the same person you gave to. That is bartering, not universal law. The return comes from the universe, using any available channel. You take care of the cause, giving. Let the universe take care of the effect, receiving, and the delivery logistics. Forgiveness, breaking the negative chain. If cause and effect is a wheel that turns eternally, how do we stop negative karma? An eye for an eye and the world will end up blind. If someone hits you, cause, and you hit them back, effect that becomes a new cause, you create an infinite chain of pain. Wars that last centuries. The only tool capable of breaking the wheel is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a snip to the thread of karma. When someone harms you, but you decide not to react with revenge, but with compassion or indifference, you stop the wheel. You absorb the blow and do not retransmit it. The negative karma dies in you. You become a karma sink. By doing this, you set yourself free. You stop being tied to that person's past. You step out of the line of fire, and the law of compensation rewards you enormously for being the peacemaker, the one who raised the vibration. Luck is preparation plus opportunity. Seneca said it 2,000 years ago. What we call good luck is simply the moment when your preparation, internal causes you have been cultivating in silence, meets an opportunity, external circumstances. If the opportunity arrives and you are not prepared, there is no luck. If you are prepared and do not move toward the opportunity, there is no luck. You create your luck. You create the causes. If you want to have luck in love, prepare yourself by being a loving, healthy, and attractive person. When the person appears, luck will happen. Stop buying lottery tickets and start building character. The law of overcompensation. Napoleon Hill spoke of the habit of walking the extra mile, doing more than what you are paid to do. This is the most aggressive application of this law. If you are paid 10 and you give 10, you are in balance. You are stagnant. If you are paid 10 and you give 15, you have generated a positive imbalance.